I want to speak from three places in the Bible today in regard to what is happening over in Ukraine. First one is from 1 Thessalonians chapter 5 and verse 3. It says, "For when they say peace and safety, then sudden destruction comes upon them as labor pains upon a pregnant woman, and they shall not escape." I just want to say, I remember it was back in the end of 1989 that the Berlin Wall fell, and Gorbachev ordered his troops to not do anything in Berlin East Berlin at that time. And I began to see that there was a fulfillment of prophecy. It's not to kid yourselves by what you see happening then. And I think in a quarter century, I see that the world was a lot safer during the Cold War than it is now. Even since in the 90s, there was the movements in the former Yugoslavia, the breakup of the Soviet Union. But there was tension down in the former Yugoslavia, of all places. And even tensions coming in the Middle East now. People saying peace and safety was so great, and it was so great to see that Berlin are standing together again. But to really just see the undercurrent, see what was really happening, what was coming next. And there was already was the breakup of the Soviet Empire in the Eastern Europe, and then the tension in Russia. The Soviet Union collapsed, and it became Russia and the Commonwealth of Independent States. Well, let me turn over to Ezekiel and just give you an idea what the future is for Russia, and even just relate the past to it a little bit. At the end of chapter 38, the last 6 verses, "And it will come to pass at the same time when God comes against the land of Israel, says the Lord God, that my fury will show in my face. For in my jealousy and the fire of my wrath I have spoken. Surely in that day there shall be a great earthquake in the land of Israel, so that the fish of the sea, so the birds of heaven, the beasts of the field, all creeping things that creep on the earth, and all men who are on the face of the earth shall shake at my presence. The mountains shall be thrown down, the steep places shall fall, and every wall shall be fall to the sword. I will call for sword against Gog. Throughout all my mountains, says the Lord, every man's sword will be against his brother. I will bring him to judgment with pestilence and bloodshed. I will rain down on his troops and on the many peoples who are with him. Flooding rain, great hailstones, fire and brimstone. Thus will I magnify myself and sanctify myself, and I will be known in the eyes of many nations. Then they shall know that I am the Lord." Now, I just want to bring out what has happened, say, in the last century. At this time 100 years ago, Russia was at the end of the Tsarist regime. And they weren't able to do much for their people. And then there was the overthrow of the Tsar, and then the Russian Revolution with the takeover of communism. And communism never did anything for 75 years. And still it is hard for the people there to live. And eventually we see what's coming is the Russian invasion of Israel, besides all what's happening now, when Russia will be finally judged and be sent running back to their own country. And another prophecy I just want to conclude with, it comes from Revelation about the million-man army. And we see that in one place, an army like that is China today. And been like that for maybe a little more than 60 years ago. Let me just say, and these would be my concluding words, people told me about how the Chinese were able to send down troops, and then when one group got killed off, they were able to send another wave down. And there was, I knew somebody else who told me how they lied to the Red Cross, and they were killing the Chinese troops because they couldn't deal with them. And this is this million-man army that John was talking about in Revelation. So I just want to bring it up. We can't say peace and safety, because there is going to be trouble in the world till Yeshua comes back. And eventually Russia is going to be finally judged in Israel, and this million-man army is in existence today. And we should wake up and get ready for the meeting of the Lord.